Everyone thought Ayan was brave for wanting more than the life he was born into, but few understood how restless his heart truly was. He grew up in a small home filled with simple routines, familiar faces, and quiet sacrifices that no one spoke about out loud. From a young age, he believed love was something grand and distant, something hidden in new cities, new people, and new dreams. He watched movies, read stories, and listened to strangers talk about finding love in unexpected places, and slowly, he convinced himself that his own home could not possibly hold what his heart was searching for. Ayan worked hard, studied harder, and carried his parents' silent hopes on his shoulders. His father rarely spoke about emotions, but his tired eyes revealed years of unfulfilled dreams traded for responsibility. His mother expressed love in actions rather than words, waking before sunrise and sleeping after everyone else, believing that care did not need to be announced to be real. Ayan loved them, but he did not understand them. He mistook their quiet sacrifices for emotional distance, and their simplicity for a lack of depth. When the opportunity came to leave his hometown for a job in a big city, Ayan did not hesitate. He promised his parents he would make them proud, but inside, he promised himself something else entirely. He believed that somewhere beyond familiar streets and known faces, love would finally find him. He imagined conversations filled with excitement, people who understood his ambitions, and a connection that would make him feel complete. As he boarded the bus that carried him away, he felt a strange mix of excitement and relief, unaware that he was leaving behind more than just a place. City life was everything Ayan imagined at first. Bright lights, endless noise, and people from all walks of life made him feel alive. He met colleagues who shared his dreams, acquaintances who spoke about freedom and self-discovery, and friends who believed life was meant to be experienced fully. He formed connections quickly, mistaking shared laughter and late-night talks for something deeper. Each time he thought he had found love, it slipped through his fingers like sand, leaving behind disappointment wrapped in beautiful memories. He fell for ambition once, mistaking admiration for love, only to realize that shared goals could not replace emotional presence. He fell for kindness once, confusing politeness for commitment, only to learn that not everyone who cares stays. Each heartbreak made him stronger on the outside and emptier on the inside. Still, he refused to look back. He told himself that love was a journey, and journeys required patience. Years passed quietly. His career grew, his circle changed, and his phone calls home became shorter and less frequent. His mother always asked if he was eating well, if he was resting enough, and if he was happy. Ayan often replied with confidence he did not fully feel. His father listened more than he spoke, offering simple advice that Ayan barely noticed at the time. Life moved forward, but something inside Ayan remained unresolved. One evening, after another relationship ended without anger or closure, Ayan sat alone in his apartment, surrounded by silence louder than any city noise. He realized that despite all his efforts, he felt more alone than he ever had back home. For the first time, he allowed himself to feel the weight of everything he had been running from. The city that once promised fulfillment now felt like a place where hearts passed each other without truly meeting. When news came that his father had fallen ill, Ayan returned home without thinking twice. The familiar streets looked smaller but warmer. The house felt the same, yet different, as if it had been waiting for him. His mother hugged him longer than usual, saying nothing, but communicating everything. His father smiled weakly, his eyes still carrying the same quiet strength. In that moment, Ayan felt a wave of guilt mixed with gratitude. As days passed, Ayan began to notice things he had never paid attention to before. The way his mother adjusted his father's pillow before he slept, even when he pretended not to notice. The way his father listened patiently to every word Ayan spoke, as if those words mattered more than his own pain. He saw love in the pauses between conversations, in the unspoken understanding, and in the sacrifices made without complaint. During his stay, Ayan reconnected with Sarah, a childhood friend who had always been there, quietly supporting from the background of his life. She had watched him leave with dreams bigger than their town, and she had respected his journey without resentment. Their conversations were simple but deep, filled with honesty rather than performance. Sarah did not try to impress him or change him. She listened, understood, and spoke with sincerity. With Sarah, Ayan felt something different from what he had felt in the city. There was no rush, no pressure, and no need to prove anything. Their connection was built on shared history, mutual respect, and an understanding of life's struggles. She knew his family, his flaws, and his silences. For the first time, Ayan realized that love did not need to be loud to be real. As his father slowly recovered, Ayan found himself questioning everything he once believed. He remembered how his parents had stayed together through financial struggles, misunderstandings, and silent sacrifices. Their love had not been perfect, but it had been patient. It had survived because it was built on respect and commitment rather than constant excitement. Ayan understood that he had mistaken comfort for boredom and stability for limitation. One night, while sitting with his father under the open sky, Ayan finally asked the question that had been sitting in his heart for years. He asked how his father knew he had found love. His father smiled gently and said that love was not something you find once and keep forever, without effort. He said love was a choice made every day, especially on the days when it felt difficult. Love, he explained, was staying when leaving would be easier. Those words stayed with Ayan. He realized that he had been searching the world for a feeling when what he truly needed was understanding. He had been chasing excitement, thinking it was love, while overlooking the quiet strength of relationships built on patience. He saw now that the love he admired in stories had been present in his life all along, just expressed differently. When it was time for Ayan to return to the city, he felt a hesitation he had never felt before. The world outside still called to him, but his heart was no longer running away. He promised his parents he would visit more often, not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire. He spoke honestly with Sarah, acknowledging his feelings with humility rather than certainty. She did not demand promises, only honesty, and that made his feelings feel safe. Back in the city, Ayan's life did not magically become easier, but it became clearer. He approached relationships with more patience, work with more balance, and life with more gratitude. He stayed connected to home, understanding that roots did not limit growth, they supported it. The love he had once searched for in strangers now lived within him, shaped by family, understanding, and self-awareness. Over time, Ayan and Sarah continued to grow together, slowly and sincerely. Their relationship was not defined by dramatic moments, but by consistent care and mutual respect. They supported each other's dreams without losing themselves. Ayan learned that love did not require him to abandon who he was or where he came from. It asked him to accept, to grow, and to stay present. Years later, when Ayan reflected on his journey, he realized that searching the world had not been a mistake. It had taught him lessons he could not have learned otherwise. But the greatest lesson was understanding that love is not always something you discover in unfamiliar places. Sometimes, it waits patiently in familiar hearts, hoping you will finally see it. The moral of Ayan's story was simple yet powerful. Love is not always found by running far away. Sometimes, it is found by looking closer, listening deeper, and appreciating what has been there all along. True love is built through patience, respect, sacrifice, and understanding, and when recognized, it has the power to turn even the quietest life into something truly meaningful.